I needed new pens, and this box looked over at me from the corner of my room and said, "Hey Kay, remember me?" And so I was like, oh yeah, there's a lot of colors in here. There's even a brown. Who thinks of a brown pen? I don't know. Maybe I'll use it. I'm not sure. I've never had a brown pen. Who knows? But there's 12 pens in here. It's just paper made, but I still think it would be nice to see what that brown actually looks like, and then it'll help me weed out which pens are like the important pens and which pens are the pens that are okay for frequent use. Does anyone else have pens like that? You have really good pens you only bring out every once in a while, maybe to sign some important documents or something. And then you have other pens that are like, oh yeah, go ahead, it's just a blue pen. Well, we'll see. Let's go ahead and crack into these. Y'all, I've been trying to film all day, and I'm so sorry if you hear my neighbor's dog screaming in the background. He does not bark, he screams. So I didn't want to. I wanted to film with natural light today, which is why the light's a bit wonky. But this is why I usually film at night because it's impossible. And sometimes even at night he screams at like 4 in the morning. Anyway, let's go ahead and crack in. See, this is the problem with me. You see this box? Look at it. It's like perfect. It's a viewing box. I want to keep it. I'm like, I might be able to use that or something else. Look at that. It's got a perfect flat. I don't know if I'll keep it or recycle it, but it definitely looks like it's a box you could repurpose. Oh, I just realized this is special edition gift bag. So there's that. Oh yeah, actually let's just read the little specs here. The Ink Joy gels. There are 12 pens by Papermate. So not the most top quality pens, but I still think they write nicely, especially when you have another piece of paper beneath it. According to them, it dries 3 times faster. So, for reduced smearing, I'm a lefty. If you're new here, I'm a lefty. And if you know the struggle of being a lefty, we always smear because papers go this way. For right-handed people, I actually have a lefty notebook. Anyway, and then we just have our sketchbook here from our last swatches. Don't look at that mistake cloud. Feels as if my neighborhood just knows what I'm filming and they're like, hey, let's make as much noise as possible. So this might be a more chaotic video. I don't know. Ooh, look at this. Are y'all seeing this? I really like this color here. It's almost like a teal, but much darker. I love it. So we have your traditional black. There's a brown. There is somewhat of a caramel khaki color, a dark forest teal color, a bright green, a lime green, light blue, dark blue, sky blue, purple, fuchsia, and a red of sorts. Not red, it's not mauve, I'm not sure. let's start with the most boring color first. Whoop. Which would be black. You know what? When I was in high school and middle school, I wasn't gifted the expensive pens. I was always getting the more budget or economy pens. And I remember people had Inkjoy, and I thought they were so cool. Just looking, because they have a sleek design. I mean, they didn't look exactly like this, but similar when I was growing up. So I like it. It's nice. Feels comfortable in the hand. So, oh, and it has the pen point to preserve the ink tip. All right. Well, let's. Shall we? Ooh. So, I don't know if you guys could see that. Maybe it's having new pen jitters. I don't know. Ooh. Oh, that's cute, guys. I don't know if you can see. It's got the two hearts right here, like on the box. That's a cute touch. Are all of them like that, or is it just this gift pack? Let's do the brown now. That's so cute. It looks even cuter on the brown. Look at that. Let's take off the tip. And we're gonna go brown. I think my neighbor's kid is playing the drums. So not to keep talking about the loudness in my neighborhood, but I hear drums. So the brown it's really dark. Are we twins? I'm just kidding. So that was the brown. Now we're gonna go, I'm just gonna call this caramel, because I want to go in alphabetical order. Because this is black, brown, and this will be caramel. Letter C. Does that make sense? Oof. So it's definitely not one of those pens where you just, write smoothly. Alright guys, let's settle the great debate right now. Is it caramel or caramel? I say caramel because, there's two A's. But to each their own. And I don't know if you see this and you're like me, but we have been deceived, friends. Look at this. This looks like it's gonna be beautiful, and this is like sewage green. I'm offended. That looks horrible. It doesn't look nice and beautiful like this color. I thought it was gonna be like a pale beige-ish type color, not that. Move into something more delightful. Like this. What are we calling this? I'm gonna take off the tip. I'm just gonna call it dark teal. I suppose it's more of a turquoise, but if I could be real with y'all, turquoise is a bit more complicated to spell, so that's gonna be dark teal for the purposes of our video today. Plus, dark teal starts with a D, and we're kind of staying in the theme of alphabetical order. Teal. I don't know why I put a pen on the end of each, but there it is. I like this one, and for some reason, this color feels smoother to write with than the others. Like there's a lot more concentrated ink deposit. Alright, What should we call this green? Were you thinking forest? Yeah, me too. So it seems like the colored ones, like these, they have more pigmentation and therefore their writing's smoother. I don't know. They're just way easier to write with than the neutral tones. So our forest green, oh, the little hearts are so cute, guys. And did you guess? We are going to call this grass green. Just kind of staying in alphabetical order with things a bit. So this one, let me see if they, nope, they didn't have it yet. Which is cool, we get to name them ourselves. We had a disaster. We just had a disaster right now. Everything fell, but that's okay. We're on grass green. We're on grass green here. And then this is a lighter blue. What do we call this? We have the ability to name this any sort of blue we want. Since we're on G, I'm gonna call it high blue because it's not exactly dark, but it's not exactly light. So we'll call it high blue. Actually, what if we call it in between blue? There we go. Between blue. And this was another smooth one to write with. I feel like that should be a capital B. There we go. Now we have a dark blue. Maybe I'll call it just blue. Just blue. Hey, it's more gray, so we're gonna call it just bluish. Hey, pen companies, if you need me to name any of your pen colors, I'm available. For the sake of staying with our alphabetical order, I'm gonna call this kind of sky blue because I'm sure that this is gonna be much darker than the outer grip. So, kind of sky. I think that's pretty accurate because it's not exactly sky blue, but kind of. So here we have this purple. I like the outer side, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be a dark purple. I'm starting to trust this shade being the actual shade versus this grip. Alright, we're gonna call Should I say light-ish or light-esque? Light-esque. Purple. Because it's not that dark. And then we have a pink, which is kind of purple. So let's just see how it writes. We're gonna call it, let's see. It's gonna be something with an M. Okay, more or less pink. And I know at this point, guys, I have stopped talking about the writing quality, so I'll go ahead and say, I'll let you know that this one was smooth. So it seems like all the colors, like from this way on, were pretty smooth, except for the grass green. That one wasn't that great. Lastly, we've got this reddish color. It's not really red, but kinda. So, hey, I know what we can call it, since M would be next. Not really. There we go. And a little bit of alliteration there. So these are all of our colors. I want to rate them like out of 10, the writability. So what if I create a scale? Let's do it with black. From 1 to 10, we'll rate their writability. Ooh. I'm gonna use this to write a straight line. Let's see. Does anyone remember, like in school, when you had to like draw a line for maybe geometry or something like that? And there were those of us like me who would just draw the line as straight as possible. And then there were some people that would pull out their protractors or their rulers, and it's like, it's not that serious. I was always the person that would just draw the line the best I can, and if it was horrible, then I might erase it and start over, but I was never one to do a precise line. So I guess we can call this growth, huh? See, should we do 10 being the worst? Yeah, 10 being the worst. 9, 8, 7. Oh, our scale's too big. 6, 5, 4. This is also giving us an opportunity to test the smudgeability. 2, 1, and 0. And then we can make this negative. So it's actually not too big. When your scale doesn't fit the box, what do? You make it bigger. Alright, so black. I'm going to put black at about, I mean, it's black, it's a basic black. It's pretty consistent here. I didn't have to trace over anything again. So I'm gonna give it like a 9.1. And I know what you guys may be thinking. didn't I just say I needed new pens? So why would I be wasting the ink with this? This is a black pen, guys. I have a surplus of black pens. It's okay. Brown. Brown was not that bad, but I did have to go over the B. We're gonna give brown an 8. Oh yeah, it feels rough. It feels like chalk. Have you ever had chalky paint? That's what brown feels like. It's also getting an 8 because it's almost black. Like if you're colorblind, good luck. Oh, this caramel color, garbage. I hate the color and it wasn't that smooth to work with. I'm gonna give it a 4. Oh, this color is horrible. I should give it a -1 just for the color, but we're judging on writability and smoothness. So 4 it is. Dark teal. Dark teal was pretty good. So I'm gonna go ahead and give that a 9. Yeah, that was beautiful. That was really smooth. Highly recommend dark teal. Alright, and then forest green. Forest green was pretty good, but I did have to go over the F. That might have been a user error. Go ahead and give forest green like... I said I was giving black a 9.1, but I put it closer to the 8 side. Yeah, let's just say that's an 8.9. Forest green, I'm going to give a... We'll also give it a 9. How original, how unique. It's really smooth though. Yeah, this is actually probably the smoothest one on the scale so far. It's like the weirdest form of relaxing video you've watched. Because what even? Grass green was pretty bad as well. I remember that one. But it's not worse than caramel. So I guess I have to give it a 5. Yeah, I'm not a fan. It still feels quite rough too. Right with. So this will probably be one of those colors that I use often just to get rid of it. Tends to be the case with greens. It's hard to find a decent green pen. Alright, our in-between blue was pretty smooth. Let me see. Go over. Yeah, oh, it's a bit rough. We haven't given a 7 yet. Let's do it like a 6.5 for in-between blue. Coloring it in, it's quite smooth though, I must admit. Ooh, you know what? We should check for bleeding after this. See if it bled through the paper or not. Alright. Just bluish was kind of disappointing in color, but writability, I'll give it an 8, I suppose. It's one of the rougher ones, but it deposits a lot of ink at a time, so it still gets a pass. See, that was really easy to fill in. Like, I'm barely pressing on the pen. A well-deserved 8.5-ish. And then for kind of sky blue, I don't know. Let's see. It's similar to grass green to me. Maybe a little better. I'll give it like a 6-ish. know the funny thing is, guys, I would still test these pens even if I didn't have a YouTube channel. Maybe not the scale and everything, but I would still test out their color and writability. Alright. Light-esque purple. Let's see. I think I'm gonna give it a 7-ish. It's not phenomenal, but it still is quite smooth. And if you look at how the color is depositing here, that filled up pretty quickly. It actually looks nicer the more of it you put out in a glob versus in a line. So that's something to note. More or less pink. I hate this shade. The more I look at it, the less I like it. It's kind of like a dusty rose, but it's too gray in my opinion. And for that reason, I'm giving it a 5. It is pretty smooth, though. Drawing the outline for this was really smooth. Filling it in is okay. Did you guys notice how our rectangles here got progressively bigger? You know what this reminds me of? Like all the doors in Monsters Inc., you know, floating around. Alright. Not really red. Let's see. There was some gapping here when I first did it, but it still deposits quite a bit of color. That's actually not bad. I'm gonna give that like a 9.5. So nothing got a complete 10 because nobody's perfect. I'm kidding, guys. I don't know. I just feel like, can you really give a Papermate, like one of the inexpensive Papermate pens, a 10? They're nice pens. I'm going to use the heck out of them, but nothing to write home about. Alright. So that was our scale. We then went up to -1. Nothing got below 4, which I think is pretty good. Good job, Papermate. Now, the last test I do want to do is just our line test. But this time I'm gonna start with the red actually. And we're just gonna do a line. Do you guys see this? Can you see this? I can very barely tell if there's a color variation between that. This is why you should test your supplies if they come in colors. Alright guys, sorry about the sudden change in light. My other light died. I think it actually overheated, so it's okay. Improvising. So we were saying there's little variation. That also gave me the opportunity to zoom in a little bit for you guys. So this is kind of sky blue here. This colorway looks nice. Reminds me of pastels. And then this is just bluish. And it certainly does not look blue. That actually looks more turquoise. Let me move them over so you guys can see the colors here. And then this is in between blue. Now that I'm realizing this just like a standard blue pen. I could have just called this just standard blue because that's how it's writing. This doesn't look like any type of special pen. I could go get a blue pen from an old purse of mine and I'm sure they would be identical. Alright, grass green here. Still living up to its grassy name. nothing special about that one. And then we have our forest green. I like it. The more I use it, I like this. It's a nice green. And then we have dark teal, which, as you can see, dark teal just looks slightly darker than the forest green, and it looks almost like a pale version of just bluish. So they probably could have done a better job with putting a little bit more variety, because some of these are really similar. But don't worry, they made sure to give us a sewage green color disguised in caramel. Isn't that what happens with desserts sometimes? You ever see a dessert and it looks delicious, like your mouth is watering? Okay, that's never happened to me, but you see a dessert and you're like, oh my gosh, that looks so good, I must try it. And then you get it and it's just meh. It's very mediocre. That's how I feel about this pen. Like, what is that? This will be a pen that I use often, just to get rid of it, like ASAP. I'm just happy to have new pens, y'all. I love pens and stationery, and I write a lot of notes on a daily basis. You know what we could have called this? Chocolate. It looks more like a dark chocolate brown. But we were trying to be alphabetical. I actually like this one now, the more I write with it. Oh, is it just me? Do you notice this? Certain colors have more ink. I'm just noticing that. Like this ugly sewage color, you see, has less ink. We certainly haven't used that much ink just in our testings. Wow. I guess they knew like we would like the brown more. Let's see if they did that with the green. They did with this darker green and the lighter green. Okay, Papermate, I see you. I see you. I wonder if they did that. Oh, they did that with the red here. Look, the red and this pink. I wish they had given us more purple. I don't mind that, but interesting. I wonder if they did that on purpose, or if just like the ink filler that they use to compose these pens just is inconsistent. The world may never know. Do you guys remember that Tootsie Roll Pop commercial? We're gonna do black here. You know, oddly enough, the brown, let me click it, just make it fair. The brown has more ink in it, it's up here, than the black. And you would think they would put the most ink in the black, because that's a really common color you need often. But anyway, let's swatch it again. Honestly, I feel like black pens need to be phenomenal because they are so basic, and because there's a plentiful amount of black pens all over the place. This one kind of, what is that? I'm getting nitpicky now. It's okay. It's not that serious. But yeah. There's our pens. I hope that I bored you to sleep, at least. I don't know. But thank you for watching, and thank you for liking and subscribing. I will see y'all later. Bye, friends. I think I'm gonna go give this to my mom. This is really ugly.